Hey guys, it's Ashley and this is gonna be my Pretty Little Liars recap review for season 5 episode 8 Scream For Me.
If I show you then I know you won't tell what I said, 'cause two can keep a secret if one of them is dead.
Aria doesn't want to hear it. I left her a message. Yeah, we heard it. And it sounded like you were underwater and Caleb was laughing in the background. He was watching a guy eat his own beard on YouTube. Classy. Sydney.
No, don't talk to that Sydney girl.
What do you want to do?
Just a heads up, I can smell you from here. What is that, rum?
Whiskey.
Whiskey. Jeez. Rough stuff. Bad girl, huh? Always had a thing for the bad girls. You?
This guy is creepy.
Did Aria make flowers?
Wait, is
Yeah. They're great, right?
that Ella's fiance? Creepy.
All yours.
Thank you.
Oh, no, please.
That's
It's
creepy.
on me.
Ew.
Thanks.
Ew. Who is this? Oh, that is gross. Okay, I like Halo and all, but they need to like stop drinking so much.
Wait.
Claire,
Oh my gosh, it looks terrible.
where is everybody? Did class start yet?
Uh,
No, it's over. It's in your hair.
Ew.
It's a crispy treat. Can you get it out, please? Hannah? Is that you, honey?
What's up with
Hannah?
people not locking their windows?
Allison? I'll be down in a minute.
Oh.
You know, actually not that. Give me your phone.
Oh my god.
Hook up with me. You kissed him? No. No, I didn't. But he was the one who... This is so messed up. Aria, I know that's why I
Please
wanted to
believe
tell
it.
you. You're the problem, Hannah. You're always the problem.
No, don't.
The rest of us are getting ulcers trying not to say the wrong thing, and you're getting hammered in front of Emily's mom and blabbing to a stranger. I told you I was sorry. No, you didn't tell me that. A did. You couldn't even remember what you said. You were just shouting out guesses trying to jog your memory. It's like playing charades with Drunky. Sounds like murder. It's not true. What'd you do, Hannah? Did you invite him into your car? Why would I do that? Were you trash? No! If you want to spiral out of control and self-destruct,
What
by all
is
means,
Aria's
go right
problem?
ahead,
She's
but I
really
sure as
pissed
hell
off.
am not going to let you take my mom down too.
Aw. What is Aria's problem? Oh my god.
But their jollies breaking into our lockers and leaving nasty notes. This A is Noel Khan.
What'd you say?
Wait, what?
I asked Noel to break into Hannah's house tonight.
Well, next up will be my review and recap, guys. Guys, it's Ashley, and so hope you liked the little reaction bits of me reacting to the episode. It was a pretty good episode, better than last week, because last week I felt it was a little slow. So Arya's still working at Radley, and she comes across Rhonda, was Bethany's former roommate. And Arya's seen putting back her sketchbook, well, Bethany's sketchbook, under her bed, and Rhonda comes in and she's like, there's one thing that Arya can do that will make her forget that she saw Arya in her room, like, snooping around. And it kind of just cuts from there, and you think that, oh no, like, something bad is gonna happen, because this Rhonda girl is pretty tough looking, you know? And it just happens that she wants to eat, like, junk food, like soda and chips. And while she's eating the junk food, tells Arya about Bethany, how this lady, this rich woman, would check her out of Radley once in a while. And so Arya asks her if that lady's name was Mrs. De Laurentiis, and she's like, something like that. She can't remember the name. And then she said that all she remembered was Custard, the horse. And so Arya would ask, oh, what are you talking about, what horse? And she said that this rich woman would take Bethany to a stable nearby, and she let her pick out her own horse named Custard. And then so that's all we get, because then this old woman that works there kicks Arya out and like yells at her for giving her like chips and stuff. She doesn't get fired. I thought she would get fired from there because this woman is kind of scary. Hannah is still with her drinking problem. Like, oh man, I feel bad for her. And she's still with Caleb. Really love them together. With him influencing her to drink all the time to solve her problems isn't helping her any better. Like, it's bad. It's pretty bad. Like, she gets like full on wasted like almost every night, it seems. And it's like, oh, Hannah, I feel so bad. And now Allison is sleeping over Hannah's house. So Hannah more doesn't want to be home. And so she's always with Caleb, while Allie is making this pity story. She's making up this pity story so Hannah's mom would feel bad for her. And then Hannah's mom is all like paranoid. One night, well, Allie and Ashley Marin are in the house on a stormy night. You think A is there like in a black hoodie, and you see like a shadow. So quick, Ashley Marin calls the police, and it's that detective, that lady, I can't remember her name, but she questions Allison about like, how do you know it's a guy, this and that. Like, she's also really questioning her. Questioned Allie at school in the beginning of the episode about Shauna, about New York and all of that stuff, and she seems to not believe Allie. I mean, who would? That's like a really messed up story. Like, it doesn't match up. And then we later find out that that wasn't A attacking Ashley Marin and Allie. It was Noel. Allie called Noel to do that so Ashley Marin would stop interrogating Allie about the kidnapping and all of that. And she said, and it worked. And she told that to Spencer and Emily, and they were like, what? Like, why would you do that? Is that like, they're like, oh my gosh, A's attacking our parents too now. And she's like, relax, that was Noel. It's like, a girl, I don't like Allie at all. And she even like, I don't even know if I should believe her or not. I guess I don't. But she didn't go to school one day, and she was all like making up this story how someone was trying to get in Hannah's room, and she didn't sleep all night, so she slept in the closet. And I don't know whether to believe her or not, because she kind of was grinning at the same time. So yeah, this whole time while Allie was at Hannah's house, Hannah was always with Caleb, getting drunk. She took 2 sips of whiskey, and then she went into the cafe. Zach was working there. It was late. They closed up shop, but he's like, oh, I can just make a sandwich to go. And so they're talking, and then he puts his arm around her, on her back, like her lower back, and he kind of like is hitting on her. And remember, this Zach guy is way older than her. Also, he's engaged to Ella, Arya's mom, and he's hitting on like a high school student. Like, oh my gosh, that's creepy. Like, I did not see that coming. Like, it didn't seem creepy at all. Like, he actually seemed like a nice guy. Like, so I don't know why the writers like all of a sudden made him into like this creepy perverted guy. Like, I don't know, I guess maybe they want like a storyline for him and they thought that would be good. I don't know, but I was kind of bummed at that part. But and yeah, I was a little creeped out too. That was a bit creepy. And then also on this stormy night, Hannah is in her car, and all of a sudden, like, what's up with people not locking their car doors either? Like, even if you're inside the car, you should at least lock it. Like, someone could just run in and attack you. So Zach, he goes into the passenger seat and he starts like, oh, I don't know if you had the same vibe as I did last night. I felt it. And then he writes his number on a piece of paper and he's like, call me. And then he puts his hand on her knee. It's like, oh my gosh, get away. And then she just ripped up the number. She also mentioned it to Spencer and Emily, and they didn't really believe her. They're like, oh, maybe you're misreading the signs, or maybe you're too drunk to not know what was going on. And then she just kind of stormed out there. She's like, you know, I shouldn't have told you guys. It was like, oh, bad for Hannah. But yet she kind of brought it onto herself. Like, with all the drinking, no one wants to believe her now. But, oh, I just felt bad for Hannah this whole episode. Sydney is in this episode. She tells Emily that she made the swim captain. No, it was something like that. I can't remember what it was. It was something like that. And Emily didn't know that. And she wasn't really that surprised. Like, she's like, oh, did you not know? And I don't know, Sydney is just getting shadier and shadier each episode, and I feel like they're making her way too suspicious, like they do with almost everyone in the show. And then while she's talking to Emily, she comes into Emily's room, like Mrs. Field lets her in, and then they're talking, and Sydney mentions something about, oh, when you girls were in New York. And so Emily says, in New York? I didn't tell you that we were in New York. How do you know that? And she's like, oh, my brain's mushed up. Like, she made some really like horrible excuse that didn't really make sense, and Emily just kind of gave her a weird look. Later on in the episode, Spencer and Emily, they go to the stables where Mrs. De Laurentiis apparently took Bethany there, and so they go to the stables and they meet this trainer in charge of the horses, and he mentioned something about how this crazy girl, she got in a fight with this woman and threw a bucket at her, and they never came back. So that could be a clue that it was probably Bethany, because she was in Radley. She was probably crazy or something. I don't know. The guy's like, okay, you guys should go because it's like gonna storm soon. So they're about to leave, but then they go into the stable. They're just checking out like the stables where the horses are, and they find a riding helmet, like when you ride horses. Back inside, and it has Melissa Hastings' initials, MH. And so they're like, wow, was Melissa at this stables? Like, it wouldn't surprise me if she was there. And then we're like talking about like they should be leaving, but Spencer doesn't want to leave and all that, and they're talking, and like you think that they would have seen A, like they were right there, and A, you see A closing the gate on them and locking it, and when they're about to leave, they're locked. The random horse just starts going crazy for no reason. I guess maybe because of the thunder, or I don't know, like maybe A drugged it to act like that. I don't know. The horse started going crazy, and then they were almost getting attacked by the horse. And finally they just broke through the gate and they escaped in time, but Spencer left with a bruised eye because something hit her eye. Also, Toby is gonna be a cop, so because he is done feeling not protected, so he is gonna be a cop. And Spencer doesn't really get a good reaction out of it. Like, I feel like this is gonna turn out bad with him being a cop. Like, just have this weird feeling something bad is gonna happen. Like, nothing. Later, Hannah, she fronts Arya. She goes into Arya's house while it's raining. Tells Arya that, okay, I need to tell you something. It's not easy for me to say, but Zach was trying to hook up with me, and or something along those lines, or he was hitting on me. And Arya was like, what? Like, she didn't like believe her, and she like screamed at Hannah, saying, practically calling like and blaming Hannah like for everything bad that's happened to them, and just calling her like, oh, so what, did you kiss him? Like, yeah, she just didn't believe Hannah at all. And then Hannah just ran out, like just stormed out, and I felt so bad for Hannah. Like, what is Arya's problem? Like, why can't she, I know like her and Hannah aren't like good friends right now, but I mean, still, like, you didn't have to react that bad. It was. And later on, Zach and Ella are like preparing for their wedding, and they're making like these flowers for the wedding, like paper flowers. Zach and Ella are being like lovey-dovey, and Arya's just watching them. Like, I don't know, I think she's just observing them, and at first she didn't want to watch a movie with them. I don't know, like, I feel like maybe she was like thinking back to what Hannah said. I'm hoping she's thinking that. like she was gonna skip the movie, but then she's like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna, I think she just did that to make the mom happy. I don't know, I feel like maybe she's actually thinking about what Hannah has told her. I'm hoping. I don't think Ella should marry that guy. Went wrong though. What went wrong? Like, was he always that creepy? Or like, ending episode is a at their some random house. There was pictures of horses and people riding on the horses. I couldn't tell who was it because I was watching it on my computer. It was kind of blurry. They lift up a cushion of a chair and then there's like these papers in it and you couldn't tell, and it kind of just stops from there. Another thing I wanted to talk about that I didn't say in the 100th episode, or like, I don't know, maybe it was, I don't know if it was the 100th episode, it could have been another one, but the time where Ali was at the doctor's being examined and she had a huge scar on her thigh. Okay, so we rewind to the Halloween episode, the Halloween train episode. Arya was trapped in the box, in that crate with dead Garrett, and she could hear like two people like trying to push crate out of the train while it was going, like a knife, I think, and she kind of poked through the box and you're like, ah. And I saw this big theory too on Tumblr about that. Like, it would make sense. It would make sense. So I don't know. And I feel like Arya is hiding something, like this whole time Ali is here. Like, I feel like she doesn't seem as excited as the other girls are, or she doesn't seem as like in tune with them. Like, I don't know, something is off about her. And why is she the only one, like from the beginning, why is she the only one going like this shh, at the beginning, like the theme song? Like, it always like made me wonder. Like, and the red swan, like, I don't know, the writer's just throwing us off, or like really, like, remember when she drew that A on the window on the Halloween train? It looked exactly like the A's that A does. I don't know, man. I don't know. And she's just not as like into like the whole disappearance as much as the other girls are. Also, about like first started working at Radley, Eddie Lamb, he was like, oh, you look familiar. She's like, no, and she kind of like acted like nervous. Unless maybe she's the one who has the twin, because doesn't someone else? I don't know, I'm just rambling on. I'm probably not making sense right now. Also, Eddie Lamb isn't working at Radley anymore, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe he got threatened by A or something. But yeah, he's not working there anymore, so if he died, I wouldn't be a surprise. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Yep, bye guys, peace out.